I think we're almost okay. We're going live.
All right.
So since Sam's not here, it's you and I that get to figure out the union stuff. I'm like, okay, we really needed that third person. But we'll do fine. We'll be able to get it done. Okay. So what part of it did you read then?
I've read everything, all the reading.
Okay.
But
so you did this 78, 83, and 85?
Yeah. And the debrief.
Oh, I haven't done the debrief because I thought we were supposed to do that later.
Oh, I didn't. I was just because I was trying to get all my quizzes done, so I just was.
I hear you. Okay, so we're supposed to do the prep, which we both did that. Okay, so we were assigned. We're supposed to go through the 83 negotiation.
Okay.
And that's supposed to take us about 20 minutes. And then we're supposed to negotiate a wage from that. So you've gone ahead a little bit because we weren't supposed to read ahead, but that's okay.
Well, I'll pretend like I didn't.
So anyway, we're supposed to divide and do the two hangouts. So we're supposed to be reading the 78 and the 83 information right now. And then I'm supposed to meet with Lane at 8:30 and negotiate a wage rate at that point in time. And then we do the additional materials, and then we meet again to negotiate. So that's why it takes so long. So I'm all for, let's get down our points and what we need to do and decide at that point what we want to do. Okay, so what are some of the biggest points that we need to bring to the negotiation table?
So we're doing, you said 1983, right? Okay, I want to make sure I was on the right one.
Let's see.
Yeah, step 2 is 1983 negotiation.
Yes, and then we go to, let's see. Yeah, we're supposed to do the 1983 negotiation first, and then I meet with Lane, and then we're supposed to come back to our teams and do the 85 negotiation.
Okay.
Okay, so in 78, using 78 as a background of what the original policy used to be, and 83, what do you think some of the negotiation points need to be? Because in 78 is when they had the old policy.
Right. I was just trying to refresh my brain a little bit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had the 52-week notification of layoff remained in effect.
I want to keep that 52-week.
Yeah, definitely want to keep that 52-week.
And in 78, they had the cost of living, the guaranteed annual wage, which they eliminated for the 83.
Right, and they hadn't had a wage increase in the 5 years. And there's
cost of living.
Yeah. But their wages did not. It stayed the same.
Okay. They did have, so they got rid of the escalator clause. So they got rid of worker autonomy too.
And the group incentive system was also eliminated.
Okay, so those were, so the escalator went away. Okay, so in 83, negotiating our rate, I'm looking at the company is still making profits. And in 78, yes, they did have a higher net earnings percentage. No?
Well,
Yeah.
in 83, they were still making money. Other, if I remember correctly, other plants were closing.
Right.
And so because other plants were closing, they were still making money, and they were still making a good amount of money. And
yeah, we're still making just around the same percentage they were making in 7. They were actually making higher than in 78. So they were making just under 2%.
oh, there you are. Okay, I was trying to figure out where you were looking. Okay.
Exhibit 1 of the 83.
Yep.
So
But their profits have been steady. It's actually a little more in 83 than it is in, where is it? Their percent of sales anyway has been steady.
okay, so what do you think that the base rate wages right now is 1069? They haven't had a raise in 5 years. And we have those other firms that are making a lot less.
Or closing.
Or closing. So what do you feel in our negotiations?
Since they haven't had a raise in 5 years, I feel like they should at least, at least some kind of a raise, whether it's a 3 or 4% raise. That part I don't know. I guess calculator.
I know. I was just going to go to my calculator too. See, a 3% raise would be 32 cents an hour.
And 4% is 43 cents an hour. That would put them just over $11 an hour.
See, I think we should stick with at least $11 an hour as the base rate. I think we should try for the 4%.
Because that's $11.12 an hour.
Because then we can say we made the concession of we should get at least a percent a year, because cost of living's more than that.
Yeah. And 3% is 1101.
But don't you think that would be, I mean, a percent a year?
I think that's fair. I think that's more than fair.
And so if we say that we would go for 4% because we're giving up 1% one of the years, don't you think that's giving them?
It's at least we're trying to meet some kind of compromise.
See, and that's what I'm thinking too. Because I'm sure cost of living has been much more than that.
I agree.
Yeah, I have no idea what the other side has at all on theirs.
No, I didn't read any of that. I only read ours.
I know, so did I. So I did what the rules said.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm thinking that's what we should go for, but I don't think we should budge on the 52-week notification.
No, I think that needs to stay for sure. Let me go back to that.
And I think we need to have the laid off workers or guarantee the right of first refusal, just like before.
Mm-hmm. So now, last time there was a no strike agreement that was put into place.
For 3 years after
Right.
the new plant was fully functional.
So I'm pretty sure that's something that's going to come up since the 3 years have passed. Right? Has the new plant opened? I can't remember.
The new plant, let me see if it opened.
I'm trying to remember.
Let's see. No, the plant became operational in August of 82.
Okay, so they still have another year and a half-ish.
Yeah, they still have another year and a half, but this contract's supposed to go that long too.
Mm-hmm.
And management, if we can tell them the no strike will be off the table, we won't agree to no strike if they say they're going to lower the wages, though, because that was not part of the original agreement. They had a 7-year agreement, and if they void the agreement,
then that voids the agreement as well on the no strike.
Don't you think?
I agree.
Because if they void the agreement, then we don't have to live by the agreement either.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to figure out what 5% is on the base wage, just so I have that when I go to negotiation.
That's 53 cents more an hour. So that puts it at $11.22 an hour.
Yep. Okay. Because, that's 10 cents an hour, which isn't a whole lot. But when you're talking that many employees, it is a lot.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that they will bring up is that other plants have agreed to the lower wages already. Do you remember reading that?
Yep.
Because they've settled on $9 an hour.
They had their unions that by September of 83, unions had agreed to accept a 40% wage cut.
They went down to $9. The other Baxters. So they went down to $9 with a raise to $10 in September of 84. So if they bring up that issue, I mean, what are we willing to do at all? Are we willing to do a wage cut at all?
Wage cuts are just, I mean, what's scary, right, is because you're living in this small town and there's not a lot of work. So your options are very limited. So it's like you almost have no choice but to accept their wage cut if that's all that they're going to do.
Right. Because right here, it's stated that the company continues to be profitable at record levels. And I think that has to do with this is the biggest plant and has the highest profits because of employee dedication and loyalty.
Yeah.
Looking at this, they have not had a single year that they had negative profits.
Nope, they've been making money. And the last paragraph says Rather than accepting wage reductions, you have notified management that it is time for Baxter to reward your members for the sacrifices they made during the building and startup of the new plant.
Yep. Because they took a wage cut back in 78.
Right.
So they not only took a freeze of pay, they also took a cut because they lost all their incentive.
Their hourly pay didn't go down, but their annual pay did.
Yes.
So we definitely won't, I don't think we should accept a wage reduction.
I don't think so either.
I think that should be off the table.
Yeah, I think we can't accept that. I think we have to accept an increase.
Are they all?
Okay, so when I go to meet with Lane, which we've still got about 6 minutes, but when I go to meet with Lane, what I'll do is I'm going to just mute this
Okay.
conversation so you can't hear me.
Okay.
It'll stay recording.
So that way you can just come back.
Yeah.
Which that'll be fine because then I'm waiting. My daughter will be home at some point. I just don't know exactly what time.
Okay. and that works because then you can just do other things or whatever,
Yep.
just as long as you're within hearing area of your computer. Yeah, we'll just keep it rolling and hopefully I won't be with Lane too long, but then we'll come back and then go over the 85.
Okay.
They said that's supposed to take 45 minutes and I can't imagine. Okay. Supposed to read for 15 minutes and then discuss it.
Well, if we've already read, I can't see why we'd have to reread.
I haven't read the 85,
Oh.
but I can read pretty fast. So I don't think it'll be a problem. And where you've already read the 85.
I'll just kind of skim through it and refresh my brain a bit on it.
Right. And so while I'm doing well, we're not supposed to go on to the 85 until we settle on 83.
So I'll wait till we're back together.
Okay. And then if we can just go through that. I'm thinking, because I don't want to wait. I don't think it should 45 minutes. We're supposed to read for 15 and then discuss for 15. I'll see if Lane wants to do it shorter. Because I'm all for shorter if we can agree.
Yeah, like I said, by 10 o'clock,
your brain shuts down.
My brain, yeah, I'm ready for bed.
Exactly. So, and then the debrief, we don't have to do that until after we settle on what we do. So, but you already read the debrief?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to try to set up another chat. I hope this works. So I'm going to turn off my mic now, Tina, okay?
All right.
All right. Tina, are you there? Hello, Tina?
I am here.
Okay, this is what they want to do, which I'm not going for it, but at the same time, they want to do a wage cut and take us down to $8.65 an hour.
I knew that was going to come.
Because they said it's the Me Too clause.
Which I think it talked about it if we were to go into mediation over that or something in here. Hold on.
Right. And I brought up the fact that they are increasing in profitability.
Right.
So let me make sure. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
muted on
says, okay. Because in the 1983 negotiations, it says that we're convinced that the term, I think it's meant to say the clause, that to turn the clause upside down and use it to reduce wages is both illegal and unethical.
Yeah, so to reverse it, where was that at?
It's on page 4 at the very top.
Okay. Okay. Would you be willing to go for any type of, oh man, I just lost the whole thing. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, I just lost everything. I can't even see anything.
Oh, it says that we're still recording and I still see you.
Okay, good. As long as I still see you. Okay. There we go. Would you be willing to do any type of wage cut at all?
I don't think we should. I mean, if we were to take a wage cut.
What percentage of wage is that cut? Let's see. Because they want to go down to $8.65.
Find my calculator again. That's like that's gotta be, is that right? 23.
So divide 8.65 by 10.69.
Yeah, it's like a 25% reduction, I think.
Well, we definitely won't go down to the $8.65 because everybody else did $9.
Right. Yeah,
So where do you go?
it's like a 23 point something percent decrease in wages.
So where do you think we?
I think we should try to at least stay at 1069.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Because their profits have held steady at that
Right.
wage. They haven't had any loss of earnings.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you and tell them. I mean, the lowest I'd be willing to go is to $10.
So that would be.
Do 5% of 1069. That's 53 cents, right?
And 53 cents, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell them if we have to, that's the lowest we'll go is to $10.
Yeah, because that would be.
Because they haven't. Okay, so I'm going to mute you
Yeah, because
again.
that's like probably like 6.5%.
Okay.
All right.
What I want to say is, what we went through 6 months ago, they are going through right now, which makes them our brothers and sisters, which makes them fellow travelers, which makes them our own. So to the very best of our ability, we are going to do our work first. And you're going to have your feelings later. Right? Go to the pit, make sure we're stocked with all the blood bag. Call the blood bag. Tell them to give us some Leo and anything they have.
Okay, I'm back, Tina.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, so this is what the final agreement for the 83 was. We agreed to $10 an hour for
Okay.
the period of 1 year. If the profits are higher than 78, well, stay at least the same as they are now, we will go up to the 1069 for the final year of the contract. If
Okay.
they dip below the profit margin of 78, then we'll renegotiate in 1 year.
Okay.
So we gave a little and they gave quite a bit.
Good.
Okay, so now we're supposed to do the 85, which I haven't read that one yet. So I'm just going to glance through it really quick if you want to re-go through it or whatever.
Yep. I'm ready. Okay.
Well, we gave up more than Baxter did. Okay, I've actually read through it. I told you I'm a quick reader.
That's
Okay.
good.
So, oh, look at that. The
The
percentage went up.
it did.
Look at that.
They had almost $1 million, or I'm sorry, $100,000 more in profits.
Well, that's in thousands of dollars. So that's even
Yes,
higher.
it's
Yeah.
right. Isn't it 1.5? Yeah, it's 1.5 million versus 1.4 million.
Yep. Okay. Well,
But it still went up.
yep. So well, and they've had a lot of, let's see, what are the wage payouts? See, the wage costs have gone down since 83, and profits have increased. So I'm thinking we now need to go for that higher wage because we acted in good faith and they didn't. So I'm all for if they don't increase our wages from the 1069 by at least the 7% now. What's 7% of 1069? Do you have your calculator?
I do. I'm doing it right now. So that's 75 cents.
So that would be You've already read the end notes though, haven't you?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, so that would be 1144. I think it should go up. If you hadn't read the end notes, I think
No,
they should go percent, at least 1% a year because their profits have gone up.
Their profits have continuously, pretty much have just continuously gone up.
Yep.
I mean, it's fluctuated slightly, but it's remained pretty steady, even in the years where they were making that, the 1069 wage. So
Yeah, that 81, 82, that was really when the recession years hit really bad. I remember living through that. So, yeah, they even made a profit then. And so, yeah,
And
they did
business-
offer the early retirement and stuff, but they're not training the employees. We're having injuries on the line.
So everything at the new plant is going not in a good direction. You have employees who the morale is low.
Well, and that's the thing is that one employee, she said, shining example that hard times, if you really have good productivity and good relationships, then you can handle the bad times. But they were, I think they're preparing for bad blood between management and us because I mean they've already put barbed wire around the plant.
And employees at the new plant are working even harder than they were before, and they're making less money.
Well, and it's unacceptable that there's 202 injuries per 100
people. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's 2 injuries a person. So that's ridiculous. And they're not getting paid for it. So
Mm-mm.
what is the footnote X? What is X? Wages. Footnote. Oh, there it is.
So I think now it's time to be harder with the management.
I think so too. I think we should, we took that 1 year wage cut. It got them over the bump. They made a profit that year. And even with us getting the 1069 back, they made even more of a profit the second year. So I think we should,
And with everything going, not with the new plant, like you said, there's the accidents have gone up. Just everything is not, they're not caring about their employees.
no. So anyway, I'm going to be meeting with Lane in 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're not going to be, we don't have to come back. Lane and I will just discuss it and come up with it between the two of us. So then we'll draw up the contract and I'll email it out to everybody,
Okay.
what we came up with. So I say that the lowest we're willing to go is $11 an hour. We won't go anything lower than that or else we'll void the contract. And we have to keep the 52-week notification.
Yes.
Anything else?
And they have to do something about a safety program, or with having so many people getting hurt.
Okay. Are you willing to go down on anything on the notification?
The 52 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, we could maybe cut that in half.
I would be willing to go for 26.
Yeah, and then as long as we still get the first choice of return.
Yeah.
Right. So if they have to allow us the first option to be able to return. What about the incentive option program? Do we even worry about that right now? I think
I don't think I think that would actually drive management further away from us.
Yeah, I agree. So something has to be done about safety and I think so that they need to do something to keep the workers safe and not, obviously not getting hurt. You don't want to have deaths or anything.
Okay, so the lowest we'll be willing to go is $11 an hour. 26-week notification instead of the 52, and improve safety on the line.
Yes.
And then laid off have the first.
Oh yeah.
And additional training for new employees. So they're not just stuck on the line running at full tilt. Because that's where the injuries come in. Anything else you can think of?
No.
Okay.
So
and okay, and on the let's see, the other one, what is it? The Me Too clause.
Oh yeah.
The Me Too clause can only be affected negatively if the profits go negative. Don't you think?
Yeah. But if they continue, definitely if they continue making profits, that it shouldn't be an issue.
Would you say on the negative profit, do you want it negative profits or below 1%?
How about below 1%? I think that's fair.
Okay, so this is what I have. They have to address safety. We will reduce to a 26-week notification with the laid off have first chance for new positions. $11 an hour is the lowest we'll settle for. Additional training for new employees, and the Me Too clause can only be enacted negatively if profits fall below 1%.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, that's the lowest we'll go.
Okay. And now next week, I know Sam said that he thought he was, but he was.
No, it would
I
be
think
you.
that's what I thought. So I'll go with that. Good.
So
Okay.
it'll be you, and then Sam is week 13, and then we have doohickeys in 14 again.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to stop broadcasting. Thanks,
All right.
Tina.